Hello and thank you for staying with us on Channels Television. You're watching the news at 5. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. In a happy turn of events, the last group of victims kidnapped during a tragic attack on a village in Kurminwali in Kaduna State have been freed. Their release comes 18 days after they were taken during a church service on January the 18th this year. Following a rescue operation by the security forces, the survivors were welcomed back by state government officials at the Sir Kashim Ibrahim Government House under the watchful eye of tight security. The victims, including women and children, will be meeting with Governor Uba Sani. At least 75 people have been killed in Woro community in Kayama local government for refusing to be indoctrinated by extremist members of Mahmuda terrorists. During a visit to the community by the Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, the Emir of Kayama confirmed that 75 people were given a mass burial, while some families opted out taking away their loved ones. He also added that some corpses were still lying in the bush following what he described as a massacre. The community has since been deserted.
It's not the metaphorical stone-throw journey. It took the governor and his entourage 6 hours to get to Kayama local government in Kwara State. It was dark when they arrived, even as the Emir of Kayama shed light on the dastardly attack by terrorists.
Very unfortunate that we lost a very large number of people. I think this one was the largest massacre in Nigeria at the same time, if I can remember. But our count at Sibika in the morning, 75 people were identified and given mass barrier. This excludes the Christians who are taken away, the Yorubas who are taken away, and some corpses are seen in the bush, but are not yet. So the figures is likely to go up. If you go to war now, they say, go sit down, everybody has deserted the whole place. Because like this and yesterday, it was just like a war, not a killing, the massacre, because it's only one side that was killing beyond this. So we lost a large number of people, also, and a lot of people have been kidnapped, mostly women and children, taken to the bush. No, for what purpose? They gave us a notice that they are coming to preach, and nobody objected to it. Only to find out that they, instead of coming to preach, they are coming to massacre. We believe that this solution can be minimized, and that if we have a ministry basis, let's say FOB, probably one Woro or that as it, Nanu and all the rest. These people are at the edge of the national park, very large, more than Zimbabwe, the one in Borno State, and it's very porous, very empty, and habitat food. It's the only consolidated and comprehensive military outfit involving Kwara and Niger that can output them. They have actually taken over the whole country. And unfortunately, some of our boys, some of our people from the Bogu area, they've joined them now in the system, and it's making it very difficult to monitor. They are the informants, they are the participants, they are the everything else.
The chairman of Kayama local government area has a gory tale to tell, a horror story of killing, abduction, and a chronicle of despair.
I'm a medical personnel. I have never seen corpse like that in my life. To count up to 75 corpses that we saw, aside those that got burnt, unidentified. As we speak, there are still corpses in the bush because they are ambushing them. They ambush them in the village. This is the village head, sir, Your Excellency. As they came to Oro, they went to his house straight. It means we have bad eggs among us who are giving the information about our communities. They got there, they asked for key of his cars, they vandalized his 2 vehicles, they burnt his house. His kids, there's a girl, his firstborn is a male, the sister, the secondborn is a woman, The two of them just finished medical schools. And of course, they brought them out and killed the two of them.
The governor and his team then proceeded to Woro community for another 2-hour journey, where the incident occurred for an on-the-spot assessment. Visible signs of the mayhem stare you in the face. Some of the structures are still burning.
Pure madness. May the soul of the departed rest in peace. We can see issues of ideology, religious ideology. The citizens here resisting the sort of ideology that is alien to them. 75 have been buried. And, we're short of words, but we thank the security agencies for their work. Also commend the president for deploying the troops. A new battalion coming in here, a new operation, Savannah Shield, will take over from the southern axis of the Operation Fasanyama. So things will certainly get better here.
Many members of the community have been abducted, while the search for more bodies is still ongoing.
And in a swift reaction, President Bola Tinubu has ordered the deployment of an army battalion to Woro in Kayama local government of Kwara State to spearhead Operation Savannah Shield to help checkmate terrorists and protect defenseless communities. In a statement issued by the presidency, the president condemned the cowardly and beastly attack by the terrorists, which led to killings of hapless villagers in Woro, describing the gunmen as heartless for choosing soft targets in their doomed campaign of terror. According to the statement, the president urged collaboration between federal and state agencies to provide succor to members of the community and ensure those who committed the atrocities do not go unpunished. He also prayed for the repose of the soul of the dead and condoled with those who lost family members, as well as the people and government of Kwara State. In Imo, the State Police Command has arrested 5 suspected members of the proscribed Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB and its armed affiliate, the Eastern Security Network ESN, over their alleged involvement in the 2021 killing of the 2 traditional rulers in Jaba local government area. Now, spokesperson to the State Police Command, Mr. Henry Okwe, announced the arrest during the briefing on the operational success recorded across the state. He also revealed that operatives intercepted an ash-colored vehicle at Nkweshi in Uguta local government, leading to the arrest of 2 suspected drug traffickers in transporting illicit substances to criminal networks.
Both traditional rulers were murdered by these notorious suspects in the year 2021. But upon painstaking investigation and credible intelligence, operatives of the anti-kidnapping unit, led by ACP Oladimeji Odeyeyiwa, busted this notorious deadly ESN syndicate and arrested this criminal suspect. Also among the cases we recorded is the arrest of 2 notorious drug peddlers. On the 26th of January 2026, at about 22:00 hours, following credible intelligence, operatives of the anti-kidnapping unit intercepted an Ash J5 Ford bus conveying over 35 bags, that is 1,200 kg, of weed substance suspected to be cannabis sativa.
Elsewhere in southern Niger, the Edo State Police Command has recorded a major breakthrough in its fight against kidnapping. A covert raid deep inside the Egbede forest in Isako East local government area which has led to the arrest of 6 suspected kidnappers. Now, in a statement, Police Public Relations Officer Eno Ikodem disclosed that the operation was triggered by a critical intelligence breakthrough. A recently rescued victim was able to clearly identify the forest camp where he had been held captive. Acting swiftly on the lead, the Commissioner of Police, Edo State Command, Monday Agbonika, personally led a joint security task force into the forest under the cover of darkness. While the team comprised operatives of the Nigeria Police, the Nigerian Army, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Edo State Security Corps, and local hunters. The suspects are now in custody and are being profiled and subjected to intensive interrogation by officers of the State Criminal Investigation Department, Benin City, ahead of diligent prosecution. Now, ahead of the 2027 general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has officially registered 2 new political parties, the Democratic Leadership Alliance and the Nigeria Democratic Congress, the NDC. The INEC chairman, Professor Josh Amokwiton, made the announcement during the Commission's first regular consultative meeting with political parties, bringing the total number of registered parties to 21. The DLA was approved following a rigorous verification process, while the NDC was registered in compliance with a federal high court order. Despite the new additions, Professor Amokwiton expressed concerns over internal disputes rocking several parties, noting that these leadership crises are challenging the integrity of Nigeria's electoral process. He also highlighted a sobering trend in voter turnout, revealing a progressive decline in participation from 53.7% in 2011 to 43.6% in 2015, 34.7% in 2019, and a record low of 26.7% in the 2023 general election. INEC confirmed its readiness for the FCT-era council elections scheduled for February the 21st, with 1,680,315 registered voters expected to cast their votes across 2,822 polling units. Rivers youth under the National Youth Council of Nigeria, the NYCN, have commended President Bola Tinubu and the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike for their roles in governance, peace building and development during a courtesy visit to the Port Harcourt City Council Chairman, Honorable Allwell Iunda. The group, led by the chairman, Sabari Bani, praised President Tinubu's economic reforms and increased federal appointments for Rivers indigents, while also acknowledging Mr. Wike's political leadership and efforts in attracting projects and federal alignment for the state. The youth urged Governor Siminalayi Fubara to embrace peace and ignore detractors, stressing that political stability remains key to development and improved living standards. Responding, however, the mayor of Port Harcourt revealed that in spite of the Supreme Court judgment, local governments are still not receiving their allocation directly from the federal government, but still rely on the states to help fund them.
Local governments have not started accessing funds directly from the federal government. Our funds still comes from the state, through the state government. It comes from the federal government through the state government. In spite of the Supreme Court judgment that has declared autonomy to all the 774 local governments in Nigeria, we are still not accessing our funds. Here in Rivers State, I believe that there is no local government, out of the 23 local governments, there is none that people will say does not feel the impact of the local government. It's like a competition to us. Every local government trying to, outsmart or outwork the other local government in terms of performance, both in our first tenure and also now that we are privileged to serve our people for the second time. So the funds that we receive, we have also applied them judiciously for the benefit of our people.
I also want to use this opportunity to call on our dear governor, Governor Sim Fubara, to shun detractors and take counsel from Mr. President like he has given. embrace peace, join forces with the FCC minister to improve the living standard of Rivers people, shun detractors because, and I quote, no price is too much for peace. Rivers people remains the people bearing the brunt of this crisis. Today, if the FCC minister have solely attracted uncountable appointments and projects in Rivers State, how much more will it be if the governor join forces with the minister and Rivers people to support Mr. President in one accord?
Motorists plying the Kwara Bridge are being asked to maintain strict lane discipline as the second phase of the expansion joint rehabilitation kicks off. During the joint briefing, the FRSC Sector Commander, Kehinde Hamzat, alongside Ogun State Federal Controller of Works, Olaiwola Komolafe, and CBC Global GM and the Douane cautioned drivers against overloading and reckless habits. He warned that these behaviors, rather than just the construction itself, are the primary drivers of gridlock on the corridor.
By virtue of my discussion with the contractor and, of course, the controller of Federal Controller of Works Ogun, a period of between 6 weeks and 2 months maximum will be used to do this, because when they fix some of these things, it will be given time to heal. Otherwise, the loading on this express, overloading is one of those things creating some of these things. Because we need some of the way bridges to help us take care of overloaded vehicles so that some of these facilities will not be destroyed on time. So they are now using high-level chemical so that it can heal on time. As against the number of weeks, it can have a reduced period of, say, 7 days to get it healed, and they open it. So from this is Kwara, they have done one side of it. The other side of it, instead of taking it one after the other, we are going to do it simultaneously. So Lagosians, at that point, we will have finished the inward Lagos section of the expressway. So everybody coming in will heave a sigh of relief. We are relating with other agencies. We can't do it alone. The LASMA, the police, the trace, even the military, we are involved in them. So it is just of members of the public and motorists to bear the pain so that the gain can come. For example, a situation where people will be driving against traffic, I want to tell them today, it's a warning. I'm not appealing, it's a warning. Anyone caught driving against traffic will be appropriately penalized and, if need be, taken to court of competent jurisdiction for prosecution. So that is where we are, and that is what we're going to do. We can't leave this thing. We cannot continue to see crashes, hence it has to be, the bull has to be taken by the horn.
Medical researchers and global partners committed to improving cancer care outcomes have unveiled immunotherapy trial for free treatment of colorectal cancer patients in Nigeria. The medical experts said the project is aimed at transforming treatment options for patients with colorectal cancer. They advised any patient with the ailment in any part of the country to visit the Obafemi Awolowo University and Lagos University Teaching Hospitals, respectively, for free screening and treatment. The medical breakthrough, which is set to be the first of its kind in Nigeria and in Africa, was unveiled at a press conference held at the Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital Complex in Ile-Ife, Osun State, to commemorate World Cancer Day. Value-added tax allocations to the federal government, state and also local governments rose sharply in 2025, hitting a combined 7.7 trillion naira, and this is according to the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee. Now, the figure represents one of the highest annual VAT disbursements on record, reflecting stronger consumption levels, improved tax administration, and broader coverage of VAT collection across the economy. Under the existing revenue sharing formula, the federal government received 15% of total VAT proceeds. States shared 50%, while the local governments received 35%. And the increased inflows boosted fiscal capacity at the subnational level, helping states and councils fund recurrent spending and capital projects amid ongoing revenue pressures. Nigeria's business activity expanded further in January this year as the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria's Purchasing Managers Index, rose to 55.7, signaling a 14th consecutive month of expansion. A PMI reading above the 50-point threshold indicates growth in private sector activity, suggesting sustained improvement in economic conditions at the start of the year. The January figure reflects continued resilience across key sectors, supported by stronger output levels, improved demand, and relative stability in supply chains. According to the CBN data, firms reported increases in new orders and production, while employment levels also showed modest improvement as businesses adjusted capacity to meet rising demand input cost pressures, though still present, eased slightly compared with previous months, helping to support business confidence. The federal government, in partnership with the World Bank, has launched a $500 million rescue plan aimed at stabilizing Nigeria's struggling power sector and addressing persistent electricity supply challenges. The intervention is designed to improve the financial and operational performance of the electricity value chain, particularly distribution companies, while enhancing grid reliability and service delivery to consumers. It comes amid recurring power outages, weak liquidity, and mounting debts across the sector. According to officials, the funding will support reforms targeted at reducing technical and commercial losses, strengthening metering, and improving revenue collection. And part of the plan also focuses on protecting vulnerable consumers through efficiency measures rather than blanket subsidies. The World Bank-backed program is expected to be disbursed in phases tied to the achievement of key reform milestones, including governance improvements and cost-reflective tariffs. Authorities say the approach is aimed at ensuring long-term sustainability rather than short-term fixes. Nigeria's telecom sector recorded further growth as active subscriptions climbed to 179.6 million, pushing national tele-density to 82.9%, and that's according to the NCC, Nigeria Communications Commission. The latest figures reflect sustained expansion in mobile and data services, driven by rising smartphone adoption, increased demand for internet connectivity, and continued network investments by telecom operators. Tele-density measures the number of active telephone lines per 100 inhabitants and is a key indicator of access to communication services. NCC data shows that mobile voice services remained the dominant contributor to overall subscriptions, while data usage continued to rise on the back of growing digital activity across commerce, education, and entertainment. The Nigeria Customs Service has recorded 202.9 billion in revenue at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, exceeding its 2025 target by 13%. According to the NCS, the strong performance was driven by improved enforcement, enhanced monitoring of imports, and stricter compliance with duty regulations. And officials add that the increased efficiency in cargo clearance and border operations also contributed to the higher than expected revenue. The achievement underscores ongoing reforms in the customs service aimed at boosting non-oil revenue, reducing smuggling, and ensuring greater transparency in import processes. And that's news at 5 at this time. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. The World Today is up next.